Okay, this is Tom, and this meeting is being recorded with my coaches at Hollywood FC, but it really applies to everybody, including Palm Beach Soccer League, which is what I'm gonna end up sharing this with. I'm going to share my screen, which is this screen here. Okay, hopefully you guys can see my screen, right? Can you see Palm Beach Soccer League website?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so number one, if you're playing in Palm Beach Soccer League, your schedule is out. It's over here where it says schedule is out. And if you click on it, you can see all the divisions and you can pull up your schedules. If you want to narrow it down to just a club, go to the clubs, go back to Hollywood FC and click on a schedule, which shows you all the schedules for all the teams we have. Or you can go to Hollywood FC. It shows you all the teams we have, and you click on your specific team. So I'm gonna use an example today, Girls 2009-2010 Select. I see Victor is on a call, okay? So up here you have contact information for the team, and the same thing applies to the opposite team, right? So if you need to talk to somebody from the opposite team, you can click on their team, and assuming they posted all of their coaches and team managers and everybody did the background check, you'll be able to get their contact information. If you want to look at your team's rankings, I really haven't been paying attention to rankings for the last couple of years. GotSport was broken, but you can find out if you're ranked up here. Hector, I'm just going to mute you so that, how do I mute you?
You're on video.
No.
Is mommy on video?
So I'm recording this, so it's going to be shared with the Palm Beach Soccer League later. So I apologize if I mute you, is because of the noise that everybody's leaving behind. Okay, so here is the division that Victor is playing in, and there's 6 teams, so there'll be 5 games. If there was 3 teams, there'll be 6 games. If there was 5 teams, there'll be 8 games, and so on and so forth. Any games that shows as TBS means it hasn't been scheduled yet, or it was scheduled, but nobody changed the label on it. So for example, this last one, October 8th, I guess it's scheduled at 11 a.m., which is very strange, but it doesn't have a location, so it's not really scheduled.
Thank you.
When the game is scheduled, you will see, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna mute whoever is talking. Okay. When the game is scheduled, you will see a proper time and a location. Any game that's scheduled on, guys, just mute yourself if you can, please. Any game that's scheduled at either 11 a.m. or some stupid time like 7 a.m. is not really scheduled yet. What else? That's it from here. Now let's go log into GotSport. So everybody should know to log into GotSport, you go to gotpro.com. It's going to take you to the page. You type in your login screen, and when you get to the main login page, you click on your picture on the top left, and you go to team management, and you go to matches. Now you're going to see a lot of stuff under my name. Ignore that. You're just going to see your own team. Since we're dealing with Palm Beach Soccer League, on the event, you're going to find Palm Beach Soccer League 2022 fall season, and you really shouldn't have to narrow down your team. If you're coaching multiple teams, it's actually good for you to be able to see all of your schedules together. But if you wanted to narrow it down to one team only, you could. So I'm going to go to the same team, Victor's team. So it's Girls 2009-2010 Select. And here is the games that he has. If anybody was chatting with us already, there would be a little chat button that's other than gray. And if nobody's chatting with us, we can click on it and we can say new message, and we can see that all of these people on the Hollywood side, as well as all of these people on the Wellington side, will be getting a message. If you point to them, it tells you who that is. Dana, Christine, Patrick, Olga, and Alessio. And then on our side, it's Greg. If somebody doesn't belong to your team, like I don't think Greg Jackson actually belongs to this team, let me know and I'll remove him. This is from last year. Jacques doesn't belong, so we'll clean that up, okay? And here I can type in a message and I can push save, and the message is going to go to the other side. You're going to get an email in your account saying you have a message, but you won't really tell you what the message is until you log in and check it. Up here on the top right, there's like a little email button that says that you have messages. So this is where you can check what messages you have. So for example, if I click on this first one, Maria Lopez Pando, it doesn't tell me which team it's for until I open it, but I can see that it's for girls 2011 select. So for Gabby's team, and the message is, hello, we'd like to confirm the game for this Saturday in your fields. Which color uniform will your team be wearing? Okay, so I'm going to reply back to them. I'm going to say game confirmed. And is Gabby on this call? She is not. Okay, so I'm not sure what color she'll be wearing. We could wear red or white or gray. I'll get back to you with the details. Okay. And that's that. So that's the chatting part of it. When you're done, hopefully nothing will be unread here. Nothing will have a yellow dot. I have a lot of them, so I could just say mark all as unread, but I'm not going to right now. Let's go back to the dashboard. Let's go back to team management. Let's go back to matches, and let's go back to Victor's team. Oh, so the proper procedure is you chat with the team. Like, for example, there was some chat here back in the day, back and forward. They agreed on something. And after you agreed on something, then you actually request for the game to be played on a specific time and specific day. So there's already a request here on November 5th. I don't know what the request is, actually. That's very good that it's there. And the request was, let's take a look at it. It won't let me respond. That's very nice. I don't know why it won't let me respond. So let's go ahead and place another request, okay? I'm actually going to go into a different team. Victor, I'm going to leave you alone because I don't want to mess with anybody else. And I think that I won't leave you alone. I think that you are playing against another Wildcats team. So that's a better place for me to mess with requests. All right, so just narrow it down to Palm Beach Soccer League because there's too many games there. Okay, so here's a game between two Wildcats teams. So it's easier for me to mess with this one than to actually, screw somebody else's teams. So these three dots below the chat, after we have chatted and we agreed on something, there's a button that says request change. That was not there before, okay? And after you've agreed and you check with your home field scheduler, which in this case is me, you will say, you know what, we agreed. Tom said it's good to put that on Boggs, field 4, on whichever day. I'm going to make it Tuesday. Actually, I'm going to make it in a past so that we know that that's not an actual game. Let's see if it lets me. And we agree to play this at 7 p.m. And then we're going to say, as agreed in GotSport chat. Or if you have done so, but we don't recommend it, if you have done this negotiation offline, you could say, as agreed in a text message between two coaches. Once you submit that request, the other side, you can change it, obviously. The other side team will see it, and they'll be able to accept it. Once both teams have accepted, on the league end, a league administrator, which happens to be me as well, will then just accept it, and the game will move to that day at that time. I'm going to go ahead and cancel this one. If you need to change it because you realize that you made a mistake, you can change it, but I don't think you can cancel the request. And that's one of the features that we've asked for, but it never came. So if you realize that you're never going to make this request and you want to make a new request, which you cannot make a new request while this one is pending, you're going to have to wait until the league administrator logs in and deletes your request. I'm going to take a look at that in a second because this is new to me. And I don't even know where to find it, to be honest with you. Here it is, change requests. This is on the league side. Here is that request. If I approve it, the game will move. but I won't reprove it because there was no response from an away team. You see, the home team asked, the away team didn't agree. So I would just sit here and wait. And this could sit here and wait forever. But I'm going to delete it in this case just because I don't, this was just a test. Here's another request of two completely different teams. They're chatting in here. Do you have availability? Blah, blah, blah. Again, this is the wrong way of doing it because they're chatting in a request rather than separately in a chat and then just putting it in here when an actual request needs to happen. So this is like example of a wrong way of doing this. If I see an actual response that says approved, which I don't see any of them right now, I would then on the league side say approve and the game will move. In the meantime, all of these requests are just because people don't know how to use this feature. It's relatively new. That's all there is on this. I do want to touch base on another subject, and that is club pass players. So depending on what your club allows you or doesn't allow you to do, same place, team management, matches. I'm going to go to Palm Beach again. And I'm going to pull up Victor's team again. Sorry, I think I pulled the wrong team up. Let's go to the girls. Okay. When we're ready to play this first game against Wellington this weekend, assuming this game is being played, it hasn't been scheduled yet because it's 7 a.m. On the three dots, there's something that's called either home day, a home or away, depending on whether it's a home away game, match day roster. And this shows you who is going to be on your roster to play the game. And if we pull up a match card for this day, we can print this out and we're ready to go and play the game. And eventually you guys will score it using this QR code. But let's assume that Victor needs to borrow a couple of players from another team. So he needs to add a club pass player. After he has done this in Playmetrics for Hollywood Wildcats, he can go here. It says add club pass player, and he needs to know her first name, last name, and date of birth. I'm going to see if I can actually pull one up. So I'm going to invite Valentina Manrique, and her birthday is August 6, 2012. And competitive level, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but if you know the jersey number, great. If you don't, you don't. It's one of the USYSs, so it's probably going to be recreational. I think it's required. And when you click add, it says she cannot play because she's too young. So she's too young for this team. So I'm trying to put somebody who is too young to play on that team. So that's not going to work. Let me find somebody else. This is Victor's team. This is Gabby's team. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find somebody here. Hopefully, I found a slightly older player. Let's go ahead and borrow. Let's go ahead and borrow Amy Galvez. She was born in September 12, 2011. Let's see if we can invite her instead. Oh, she's old enough. So I was able to add Amy to this roster. And now when I go to print a match card, hopefully she shows there as orange. If this ever happens, where you suddenly lose all the other players except for her, all that means is that down here in the bottom, you got to add all these players to the match day roster. You can only take 18 players to the game. If you go to the game and there's more than 18 players on the roster, you can just scratch them off by hand. But if you're dealing with a large roster, you can say, you know what, Natalie Nichols shouldn't be able to play because I don't have a picture, which means I don't have a pass. So I'm not going to invite her. So I'm going to add everybody except Natalie Nichols. And now when I print the match card, hopefully, we have the original players, plus we have Amy Galvez, which is club pass player. And you can have unlimited number of club pass players. It's not something we really want to do, but because the way the system works, it's better we let you use unlimited Club Pass players than to limit you to just 5, and then people have issues technically. And that's that. Let me just check what else I said we were going to talk about in this meeting, because if there's more, we'll talk about it. If not, we'll stop the recording and we'll open it up for questions. I apologize, my WhatsApp is coming up. So GotSport, chat with the opponents, request a game change, Club Pass, print a roster. Okay, so if you're not dealing with Club Pass and you don't need to do drop down home match day roster or away match day roster, and you just need to print a match card, you can just go to 3 dots and say print the match card, and it gives you 2 options, standard or photo. We do not use photo cards, we only use regular standard ones. So if I bring this up, the roster is there. I can print it, always print 2 copies. I think most of you will get referee money for the rest of the season now, so you don't have to come and chase us down all the time for it. And then you can print your own passes. We have one more thing we want to talk about, but it's not related to Palm Beach Soccer League. So I'm going to stop the recording, and then I'll open up for questions and go into other non-PBSL related things, okay? So give me a second. Let me stop the share and let me stop the recording and